These vehicles were discontinued 5 years ago. Newer vehicles are more advanced with better tech and better efficiencies. So why are people still spending serious money on 200 series LandCruisers in 2026? Reason number one, engine and driveline. Look, these things have proven themselves over the years, with some of these vehicles racking up 400,000 to 500,000 Ks, and they're still on the road and still driving. You can't deny it that it just feels effortless when you're cruising on the highway, you're fully loaded, or you're towing. It just seems to do the job without any issue. Now, with modern day vehicles, our engines are getting smaller to adhere to emission control laws that are coming into Australia, which means we're having to work our modern day tourers harder to achieve the exact same thing that this is doing with ease. And that sound, when you put your foot down, you just get that V8 power. It's just undeniably awesome. But as four-wheel drivers, we tend to ask a lot more out of our vehicles. So things like putting all your bar work on, bigger wheels and tires, roof racks, we're adding drag, we're adding weight. Things like towing, going up the beach, four-wheel driving up a stupidly steep hill are things that are gonna make you ask more out of your engine and your driveline. But on the trusty Toyota 200 V8, these are some of the things that we do to help it stay as efficient as it can whilst you're putting it through those pain points. So, number one, we've got an airbox here. Because the factory airbox is not fantastic and it allows dusting to get into your engine, and then it's bye-bye engine and it's full rebuild or get a new one. And nobody likes that, so GSL do this great airbox with a high flow filter as well. These are stupidly good, and they do not allow any dust to get past the seal on the airbox. So that is the number one thing that we love to run on these, to keep air going into the engine as clean as possible. Number two, we've got some cooler fans from those guys as well. So the Thermos are on a temp gauge setup, and what they do is they keep an eye on the temperature that is happening on this intercooler. Once it gets to that certain level, they will automatically turn on. Now, this is great for keeping the heat soak out of these intercoolers because they're mounted on top of the engine. There's a lot of heat in this engine bay, and when you aren't driving at highway speeds, no air's coming through the ducting onto the intercooler. So this fan kit allows you to four-wheel drive, which is moving slowly. It allows you to be bogged on the beach, and it actually maintains good airflow over the intercooler, which is maintaining full power from your engine's ECU, because that is not getting too much heat into it. More efficient and full power when you need it. Another two mods that we love to do at BAW Automotive to keep these things running as efficient as possible, it's in behind the grille, you can't see it, is a transmission cooler. So that's going to add more oil, which means you've got more fluid to cool down your transmission when you're putting it through hell. And the second thing that we do like to do is a torque converter lockup kit. Now this is also helping your vehicle from stopping, surging 5th to 6th. If you've driven a 200 series, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, these things tend to hunt between gears at 5th and 6th, especially when you're on the highway. And that thing is just locking up that converter, and that way you are getting 100% efficiency out of this vehicle. Before we close the bonnet and walk away from the front end of the vehicle, don't forget a little bit of safety for the engine. We've got a pre-fuel filter here, so it's coming from the tank through the pre-filter, then into your genuine filter, and that is just keeping the fuel, any form of weird and wonderful things that might get in it, as clean as possible. Hey, don't forget, 12 volt is definitely something that we love to do. I'm an auto sparky, if you didn't know. So the boys have done this fantastic little fuse setup here at the front, which is taking care of all of our fusing for the aftermarket componentry that's in the vehicle. Things like the fans, I mentioned before, and there's a few other things down the back that I'll run you guys through. But nice and neat. Don't forget about fusing your components correctly. Super, super important. Reason number two, the build quality of the 200 series LandCruiser is old school era four-wheel drive. The chassis is big, it can handle a bunch of weight that you're going to throw at it, and things like GVMs. The upgrades for these guys in weight is huge. We've gone and slapped a massive 4200 GVM upgrade on this vehicle, and it has a GCM increase to 7,700 kilos, which is just absolutely fantastic if you are somebody like our customer who's going to be putting his entire family in here and towing a caravan as well. Yes, this one has also opted for the brake tow upgrade as well, which brings you from 3.5 ton tow capacity up to 4 ton. Don't forget that is post-rego, because these vehicles aren't brand new anymore. Lovells has done the engineering so that you can do that post-rego for Queensland. So if you are watching this outside of Queensland, please check with your local state laws. That will affect you if you are considering doing something like this post-registration. This is the Platinum kit in this vehicle, which means you do get remote res shocks as a part of the kit. In this particular one, we have optioned in the upper control arms in the front, so you get that ideal situated setup in the front for your wheel alignment. Couple that with a set of poly-air airbags and a wireless remote airbag kit, mind you, as well, for part of that system. Makes super, super easy when you are vanning on and off the back. So when you're traveling and you're constantly loading the rear with the ball weight and then unloading it again, that little kit just makes it stupid easy to do that and do it on the daily as well. Don't forget, guys, depending on what type of setup you're doing with your GVMs or anything like that, you definitely need to take into consideration wheel and tire combos. On this particular vehicle, we got the ROH Assaults in the black, and then we've got them wrapped in pretty much one of our most commonly used tire combos, which is the Yokohama XATs. So don't forget, load rating, speed rating on your tires and your wheels is a absolute necessity when you're talking GVM and GCM upgrade, especially when you then add a brake tow upgrade onto a GVM as well. So don't forget, guys, there's a lot of numbers and things to remember there. However, you just want to make sure that you're talking to someone like ourselves when you go through that, so you're getting all the correct information, and especially in your state, because state-based laws do vary from state to state. Reason number three is aftermarket support. Guys, it's absolutely massive. And even to this day, there are still new products that are coming out for these vehicles. You've got an absolute massive amount of options when it comes to aftermarket accessories for the vehicle. As you're seeing it here, we could build the exact same thing in probably 3 to 4 different ways, although you end up with the same result. So it's super, super versatile to build it your way. Guys, a prime example of businesses still innovating for the 200 series LandCruiser is Raslarr Engineering with this new bar. How good does it look? It's got some great features, and it still keeps all of your factory componentry like your sensors and your headlight washer jets as well. Great little integrated light bar option that you can get here, winch compatible, and the thing just looks fantastic. And I love the new little foggies that you can get, which do incorporate an indicator in there as well. So here are some examples of accessories that you can do on your 200 series. UHF, you can't go past the trusty GME setup. XRS one is what we're running in this vehicle. They're just stupidly reliable, just like this car. Snorkel, you can't have a trusty 200 without a trusty Safari ARMAX snorkel, which is going to get you 25% more air into there. Winch, definitely something you're going to need. Great thing about these ones is they even come with a wireless remote. Bash plates, underbody protection is a absolute essential when you're building a off-roading vehicle. That way all your vital components aren't going to cop unexpected rocks or posts, stakes, not like beef steaks, but you know, the ones you put in the ground. Far out. Ah. Man, twin compressor hidden away in behind the rear quarter here in the 200. We even have an air tank in there for maximum volume. Red Arc Tow Pro, you're definitely going to need one of these if you are towing over 750 kg, which this thing definitely will be. Guys, safety Dave cameras are just super handy, and here's a great example of that. He's got so many passengers and gear, so when you stack it all in the rear of the vehicle, it is super hard to see out of. So one of these makes it very easy. Roof racks. When it comes to roof racks on your vehicle, there is many different brand options. This particular one here is the front runner option that we've got, and it does have a incorporated table with it as well, which is super handy if you're doing a lot of stop-start touring, overnighters. You can fit your awnings onto these things, shower tents, max tracks holders, gas bottle holders, throw your swag up here, put solar panels on here. Guys, these things are super versatile, so they are a very popular pick for when we are putting together touring vehicles. Okay, power, definitely something that was needed for this particular build. However, there was a little kicker to that. It needed to be easily installed and easily removed. Now, this vehicle's got a false floor setup in the back, and that's how we're kind of utilizing this system, because it is bolted down to that. He does utilize the two seats, so they had to be usable, and then this could come in and out as he tours or not tours or whatever he's doing. Okay, so we've got some connectors on this side for inputs and outputs, because we've got solar and we've got power in it as well. On this side of the box, which is a bunch of 12 volt outlets, you got USBs, USB-Cs, SIG socket, angle plug as well. So it's covering everything, and we've got two Anderson connectors here as well. What you can't see on the back side, we do have a Red Arc 1000 watt inverter. So that way he can run laptops, small appliances to get him out of drama for when he needs 240 capabilities as well. It just puts everything, a dual battery system that you need, into an awesome aluminium box that's then removable with 4 screws on each side. So why are people still building 200 series LandCruisers in 2026? Well guys, I'm not gonna lie, I still wish that I had my 200 series, or Amy's I should say, 200 series. Whenever we put a 200 series together, just the mods that you can do, the way the things drive, even on the highway, like this has got a 4200 GVM in it, as we mentioned, they still hold their own on the road when they're loaded, when they're unloaded. They are super comfy, super powerful. It is a V8 after all, twin turboed, and these things just tick all the boxes. It's not too noisy in here. It's got great air conditioning. Oh my goodness, like there's just too much to mention. And there's a speed camera coming up too, apparently. So all of those boxes absolutely ticked. So is the 300 filling the shoes or filling the space that this thing has left in the market? Because it was kind of some big shoes that it had to fill, and I don't feel like it's got there, and I don't feel like it's had as much of an impact on the four-wheel drive industry and automotive world as much as the 200 has. Or is it just simply the fact that it hasn't been out for that long? Could that be it? Because we've built some pretty cool 300 series in our shed, and those things have just as much capability as this has. Mind you, yeah, maybe the cab space isn't as nice or as large. It definitely doesn't have a V8. However, I haven't heard anyone complain that they don't have enough power, and I haven't heard anyone complain that they're too small either. But food for thought, guys, food for thought. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, that way you can see me ugly face next time. And if you did like this content, how about you check out this video right here or this video right here.